This is CNN Breaking News.
Good evening, everyone. This is CNN Tonight. I'm Don Lemon.
We have a busy hour, Don. Great to be with you. I'm Alisyn Camerota.
And tonight we're going to start with some breaking news. Another black eye for the NFL as the Arizona Cardinals' Jonathan Dwyer is arrested for domestic violence, coming on the heels of the Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson cases. Has the league lost all credibility? And should Goodell go? All of this is tragic and it is terrible news for the NFL. So has the league lost its credibility? That's the question.
Let's talk about all of that because we are joined by Lanny Davis, a legal crisis specialist, former special counsel to President Clinton and columnist for The Hill. Jitendra Sedev, a celebrity branding expert and professor of marketing at USC, and Lee Steinberg, an agent with Steinberg Sports and Entertainment. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. You just heard the breaking news. Jonathan Dwyer arrested. You know, Greg Hardy has been benched. Adrian Peterson out. Ray Rice suspended. All of this in just the past couple of weeks. Can we blame Roger Goodell for not instituting some sort of coherent policy? Lee, let me ask you.
Well, first of all, it's the commissioner that sets the tone. We should have had a domestic violence policy some years ago, and he could have acted decisively. He had all the facts when the Rice case came up. There was no need to wait for the tape. There have been 56 incidents under his watch.
So does that mean that he should go, Lee? Because so many people are calling for his head, but others are saying that give the guy a chance. So which one is it?
Well, I think we have an opportunity right now to institute programs that, first of all, will train young men not to do this. The NFL has a great opportunity because it's a sport that's so popular. I had Lennox Lewis, the heavyweight champion, cut a public service announcement that said, real men don't hit women. And athletes can really lead the way here.
But can Roger Goodell still lead the way, or is he too tarnished as a result of all of this?
I don't think he's too tarnished. I think that they need to move very rapidly here to speak out. There's no reason to delay in any of these cases. Under the personal conduct policy, you don't have to be convicted. An arrest is enough to go ahead and move.
Okay. I want to jump in here. League, and if I can just get you, should Roger Goodell go or not?
I don't think he has a whole lot of credibility, but the owners will never fire him.
All right. So, Lanny, should he go or not?
No, I don't think he should go. That he owned up to an egregious mistake and is trying to rectify it, which is, I think, the right way to go and make a mistake into a teaching moment.
Let me get Jitendra in here, and then I'll continue on with your Jitendra. Do you think he should go or not?
I think he is certainly, there's certainly one issue, that is the leadership of the NFL. I think the issue is much bigger than Goodell. I think we have to look at the brand itself, the culture of the organization, and see how we can start implementing policies and procedures that are actually going to shift that.
I just wanted to get you all on that. So, Lanny, here's a question to you. Despite what the NFL and the teams have done or not done to try to tamp this down, this is a never-ending stream of bad news. So what does he do now? You heard what Lee said, what he believes. What do you think he should do now?
Well, if you read the statement that he put out in trying to correct what he admitted to be a mistake, it's a very strong new policy of 6 games at least suspension and banishment for a second incident. And he can now implement that policy for incidents that he was either not aware of or wasn't focused enough because he wasn't sensitive to the terrible stain of domestic violence in this country, not just in the NFL, but in the NBA and in other walks of life. And this now is a teaching moment that maybe Roger Goodell can turn something terrible and mistaken that he did. If you read his complete statement, I think he's trying to make this into a teaching moment about domestic violence in America that, as he said, it is unacceptable under all circumstances, is the statement he put out. Maybe people say it's too late, but he's admitted to the mistake and he's trying to now rectify it.
Jitendra, obviously the tipping point would come if sponsors started pulling out and if viewers started turning away, which we haven't seen happen from the NFL yet. But Indra Nooyi, she is the CEO of PepsiCo, put out this statement tonight. I am a mother, a wife, and a passionate football fan. I am deeply disturbed that the repugnant behavior of a few players and the NFL's acknowledged mishandling of these issues is casting a cloud over the integrity of the league and the reputations of the majority of players who dedicated their lives to a career they love. When it comes to child abuse and domestic violence, there is no middle ground. The behaviors are disgusting, absolutely unacceptable, and completely fly in the face of the values we at PepsiCo believe in and cherish. Given PepsiCo's longstanding partnership with the NFL, I know Roger Goodell. We have worked together for many years. I know him to be a man of integrity, and I am confident that he will do the right thing for the league in light of the serious issues he is facing. So that's a vote of confidence. Jitendra, do you think that he is worthy of that?
You know, it certainly seems to be a vote of confidence. It's certainly not what the consumers are thinking. 48% of 3,000 Americans consider the NFL league to be sleazy. They describe it as being sleazy. So I think that's very telling in terms of how they actually perceive the organization to be. I think the NFL, you know, has a multitude of different challenges. It's certainly in crisis mode. I think that we need to not only look at the leadership, we need to look at what they're actually doing inside the organization, what sort of culture they have, what are their procedures and practices. And then we also have to look at how the NFL can become more transparent and more open. It's really a cost to entry to US teens and millennials in particular. Transparency, authenticity, really telling us what's going on is a first step towards correcting the NFL brand.
Hey, Lee, I want you to listen to this. This is what Adrian Peterson's teammate, one of his teammates, said today.
I don't think it's fair at all. I think, you know, he should be able to play. He haven't been convicted of nothing. Growing up, that was nothing, man. My mom, she always wept me up and things like that, man. Just you know, in my culture, that's how I was raised, man, and that's how my mom, she raised her kids. And you know, like I said, man, look at me now. You know, I'm in the NFL.
There's a whole lot to discuss with that, but just, Lee, it seems to be a common defense that many people have raised, the type of treatment. Does it hurt the NFL that players speak out and defend their teammates?
I don't think there are many of them who are doing that. One of the dangers here is that these players are so physically strong that they can hurt someone. The specter of a 4-year-old being hit with a tree branch by someone who's so physically strong is daunting. But the players will get this right, the league will get this right, and we'll see a program just like what they did with breast cancer, and they'll take over a leadership role, and they'll become a leader here in a dynamic way. Make no mistake.
He's saying that it, you know, they'll get it right, but what took so long? Like, what to get it right in the first place?
Whether it took long or not, this is by 2-1 the nation's most popular sport. People are going in droves to games. It's got that power. It's both the most popular TV show and the most popular sport.
Yeah.
It will come through in a dynamic way.
I mean, we like your optimism that this is a teachable moment, and it certainly has started a conversation among us in the office and offices around the country. But Lanny, you know, so many people, when something goes wrong, the knee-jerk reaction is we want the you know, boss's head on a platter. So do you think that it's better to have Roger Goodell stay and fix it?
Well, first of all, he's not going to stay if Robert Mueller, former head of the FBI and a man of unquestioned integrity, finds that he lied about not seeing the second videotape. Anyone who saw that second videotape who didn't immediately suspend Ray Rice doesn't deserve to be commissioner. I happen to admire Ingenuity's statement because she's giving somebody the benefit of the doubt until he's investigated, and then we'll see, and let the facts speak for themselves. But I also would like, while I have the chance, Don, this is not confined to the NFL. There are several stories that talk about the NBA and the NHL. And by the way, in non-professional sports, in regular human life in America, women are beaten all the time, and kids are abused and beaten all the time. And that kind of attitude that my mother whipped me, it's okay. This is about violence. It's not just confined to the NFL. And what Roger Goodell said, unacceptable under all circumstances, applies more to the NFL. It applies to everyone in sports and outside of sports.
Well, can I just jump in there, because the statistics
we've got to go. We've got to go for time. We're so sorry, Jitendra. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lee, and also Lanny Davis. We appreciate all of you. We've got much more on all this, including the question raised by the NFL's child abuse allegations. What is discipline versus abuse?
We've been talking about that a lot.